Knowing yourself in the sense what you are actually. Otherwise, what do we know about ourselves? What we are. That's the point. If we begin to know ourselves in the way what we are, then gradually we will also understand what is the reality of the world that we live in. In fact, the very purpose for our spiritual growth or evolution is to be able to know everything. And everything comes into two. One is the self, the one who knows. And one is about the world in which we are part of. So it's very important, really, knowing ourselves, what we are.
The situation, what we are, or just the physical, everything, what we are.
The physical part is part of knowing the rest of things. Actually knowing ourselves based on our physical body, based on the consciousness that kind of resides in the body, and then together what we call as a person. To ourselves as me, and then others. So the me, the sense of the me has to be understood. What we mean by me. The body is not me. And this is the tendency for majority of human beings. They think the body is the me. If the body is the me, then we will never be using the term like, say, my body. That means my bodies, we are referring to the body, that is something belonging to the me. Similarly, the mind is also not the me. If it is the me, then we will never say my mind. So, we say my mind, my body. So there seems to be something other than the body and mind, separate. That seems to be, that appears to be. And therefore we need to really know what is this thing which seems to be the owner or possessors of the body and mind. And generally, of course, people have particular names for this thing as the self, or the soul, or the Indian term for that is Atma. So as long as we have this sense of there being a self, independent from the body and mind, and we are said to making a great mistake. And this sense of the me, independent from the body and mind, that's the main cause of the problems. So we need to examine what is this thing. If we are told there is not such a thing as the self or the soul or the Atma, other than a name given to the group of things like the body and mind together, we may not be satisfied. It cannot be just a name. So therefore it is very important for us to keep on observing this sense of me. Is it really something different from the body and mind? is there is an independent existence of this me? If there is an independent existence of the me or the self, then we should be able to really find out, we should be able to really, through examination, through analysis, we should be able to really point to this thing. But then this we already begin to see that is nothing that we can really point out as being the me. And this I think, for instance, if a person thinks I am this body, of course the body is not me because it is my body. So it is a kind of part belonging to the me. And even when the person is pointing to the body, which is your body, wherever this person puts the finger, it is not body. The body is on for your kind of, say, look at it as head, but this is not head, this is the forehead. And then there also specifically go down, then this is not that thing. Like say, using my hand, but then which is your hand? Wherever you put your finger, this is not hand, this is the thumb. This is the particular finger. And then this also here, the upper part of the finger, middle part of the finger, lower part of the finger, at the back of the finger, front of the finger. So wherever you put the point, it is not that thing. So that means we are not really finding what we call. So it's much sensible to say all things are just the names. But we are not satisfied with this name. There seems to be some kind of connotation. When we observe, when we analyze, we find there is no other than the name. Then we are not satisfied in saying everything is just a name. So we have to work out to really resolve this contradiction. For instance, if you look to the town we live in, we call it Salisbury. So where is Salisbury? From above, from the space you look down, certain group, certain area you say this is Salisbury. But if you really begin to put a kind of a pointer, and then wherever you put it, it is not Salisbury. Maybe the beginning part of the city, the end part of the city, middle part of the city, all these kind of things, find something, but not Salisbury. Then you go to the center part of the city, again you point there, you find another thing, but other than the center of the city. So all that means it is just a name.
When we understand that when we name things, we're all made up of our parts, and we can't actually say that this is my body. As we touch our leg, our arms, we're all different parts. Where do we look then? When we understand that, we know that Salisbury is not just one part of Salisbury.
This house is not Salisbury.
Salisbury is all of Salisbury, so it's the sum of its parts. It is. So when you say that we look for the me of who I am, then when we understand that we're the sum of all our parts, and we're still looking for the me, where do we go then?
That's why we need to keep on making this analysis search. And somewhere we have to find a satisfying kind of a explanation or answer to that thing. Nobody else can give you this. You have to find out. It is, this is not, that is not. That we can say. And what is? It is just a name. England, what is it? Just a name given to our area. And of course, then you must say, this is the government, this is the population, this is the area, sort of thing. All together, it has a name.